Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It really is an honour to rise to speak to Bill 206, the Society's Preventing Promotion of Hate Amendment Act 2018. One of the great strengths of our society, without question, is our diversity and multiculturalism. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that Canada, and Alberta in particular, is one of, if not the most successful multicultural community in the entire world. It is a source of great pride in my constituency. It's a source of great pride, I think, and should be for all of us, that people will choose to make Canada home and choose to raise their families here, choose to contribute to community, choose to start a business. This is one of the things that I think it would cause rare unanimous consent in this Assembly, that we would all absolutely agree with that. But troublingly, racism in Alberta and around the world seems to be on the rise. I met recently with representatives of Calgary's Muslim community who were deeply unsettled by a hateful rally that took place on the steps of Calgary City Hall, and were shocked by, frankly, the number of people who attended that rally. I suppose positive aspect of that was that the anti-racism protesters far outnumbered the anti-Muslim protesters. But it doesn't change the fact that that had a real chilling effect on the Muslim community. And so we sat and they asked that I bring that before the legislature, and I've done so previous, but I'll do it again. That much as we may think that debating a bill that is relatively short, that would simply ensure that any society incorporated under the Societies Act, in fact, has a lawful purpose, and so far as we know, currently no organizations like the KKK, as the member for Calgary-Klein has talked about previous, are in fact registered under the Societies Act. They were at one point in this province registered under the Societies Act, which gives them a level of legitimacy which frankly they do not deserve. So this bill prevents that from happening in the future, and I commend very much the member for Calgary-Klein for bringing this forward. I think it is very, very important that we provide that protection. It sends a strong message from the Assembly that hateful behavior is not acceptable, and if it just creates one more barrier from any organization that has a hateful purpose from being provided any sort of legitimacy, which they absolutely do not deserve, then I think the bill has served its purpose. The member previous had talked about the racism his parents suffered growing up as Ukrainians, and those of us of Ukrainian heritage may living in 2018 may think that, how could that possibly be? But my mother will tell many stories of actively being discriminated against, and for a good long time she did everything she could to try to fit in, to not celebrate her heritage as much as she may otherwise have, and that was really upsetting to observe. And it's been nice and as the years have moved on that she's able now again to embrace her cultural heritage. It's unfortunate she didn't teach me any Ukrainian, but I could always still learn. But it's something that we need to remember, that it is never that far away, and it's there below the surface. That level of racism can bubble up. Fortunately, I think we're safe to say that it is not rampant in our society, but it's not non-existent either. And anything we can do to prevent racist organizations from existing, from being legitimized, I think we absolutely need to enthusiastically pursue that. So I again commend the member for bringing it forward, and I will say that I have heard some concerns from organizations that this may present a chilling effect on legitimate free speech. I think that's not the case. When we look at the definition in the bill itself, it's actually a very narrow definition, advocating or promoting genocide as defined in Section 318, Sub 2 of the Criminal Code Canada, or publicly inciting hatred in a manner which could constitute an offence under Section 319(1) of the Criminal Code of Canada. That's a very stringent test. which would capture only very specific, overtly hateful activities. So any organization that has a lawful purpose, be that a religious or a civil society organization, has nothing to worry about from this bill. I have no concern that this will overburden the system in terms of the registrar being required to retroactively look at every single one of the applications. I don't believe that. In fact, I know that's not part of the bill, but it would apply as new registrations are made or registrations are renewed. The registrar would ensure that there is a lawful purpose. So I feel the bill is welcome. I feel it takes Alberta forward, and really the cost, if any at all, is absolutely worth it. So I encourage every member of the Assembly to support the legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.